If you're positive, you better bless this space. If you are negative, you better get up out my face. If you are positive, you better bless this space. If you are negative, you better get up out my face. If you are positive, you better bless our space. If you are negative, you better get up out our faces.
Period. If you are new here, hi, I am Azari.
And I am Space, the witch.
And this is Witches and Weebs, where the otaku lifestyle, spirituality, witchcraft, and fandom all come together to create a harmonious community of witches and weebs and everything in between. We dive into all things mystical, magical, pop culture, witchy, weeby, anything under the sun considered fun. So if you are here, thank you for joining us on our journey to betterment, and we hope that you have as much fun as we do. Jazz hands!
Jazz hands!
Hi everybody!
Let's raise some energy. Even though I'm like super hyped right now. What we are here for today is another episode of FANCRAFT, and we are talking about my favorite Marvel woman of all time, one Susan motherfucking Storm of the Fantastic Four. Because obviously First Steps is coming out. They're releasing a bunch of deleted scenes because whoever is the test audience for First Steps, dukes up right now. Dukes up right now. I hope you have diarrhea every day for the rest of forever, and your pillow is always hot. You ruined the movie. We needed those deleted scenes. Pacing was shit because you were like, no, this scene is stupid. It doesn't serve anything. No, the pacing was all off because we didn't have those breather moments that you said didn't matter.
Great movie. Now, if only, you know, it was a little longer. I don't know, man.
Literally.
Y'all gotta stop
one of
putting
those
people who aren't Marvel fans in these fucking test views because they don't know fucking shit from the ass of their ass, okay?
There is a scene where Susan is sitting in a rocking chair holding Franklin, and she goes completely invisible while she is sitting in that scene because it is the best sort of protection to just not be seen at all. If any villain is looking in on their building, they wouldn't be able to tell that she's there. A mother always protects her child. We needed those moments to see her mothering mother.
A mother should always want to protect their child. Unfortunately, it's not all mothers, but it should be. It really should be.
It should be not even just every mother. It should be every parent.
It should be every parent.
Every parent should care for Franklin and as much as Reed and Susan do. Because as somebody who just finished the original run from 1961 to 1970, this man got kicked out of the hospital because he was annoying the doctors. They literally said, you need to stop haunting the hospital and go home. And he was like, but, and they, no, go home.
I want to see my baby.
She hadn't even given birth yet, and he was already Reed, as written by Stan and Jack Kirby, their original creators, is a very good husband who loves his wife very much. He is just so up his own butt with science that he forgets. Now, as why this applies to you, why we're yapping about one Susan Storm is because she is one of Marvel's heaviest hitters, and she is a great person to evoke for energy working based on shielding, vanishing, and of course being seen, because Susan is only ever seen when she wants to be seen. We have a scene that talks about that in the movie where she literally will just disappear in the middle of a crowd to avoid talking to people that she does not want to talk to. So I want to know, now that we're talking about Marvel, we bring up Marvel, who would you like to see us do next from Marvel? Who is your favorite heavy hitter from Marvel? You can leave those comments down below.
And make sure it's a good character and not some yee fuck ass obscure ass character that we cannot do any sort of research on because there's quite literally nothing about them on the internet aside from the 1 second they were in a panel of a comic.
Please make sure they have like some semblance of a Wikipedia I can read.
Right, like don't just pick Ratman #3 from that one Spider-Man edition that nobody reads.
Don't pull out the 2005 Punisher game that has like literally a paragraph of information. Don't do that, please and thank you. But we will do, if they have enough information and enough powers that make sense for this type of situation, we will do them. For Susan, we're going to talk about what do you mean by she is one of Marvel's heaviest hitters. It is canon within the comics that Susan has not tapped into her powers like 98% of her powers, because for a long time it was just invisibility, and invisible shields. And until there was, I don't remember the exact person who told her this, but it was one of the cosmic forces was like, you haven't even touched the tip of your powers because it's light manipulation. It is not invisibility. She is manipulating light to make herself invisible. She is manipulating light to make her constructs. So let's talk, since everybody likes to talk about feats, we're going to talk about her specific number of feats so far. In the original 100 comics that were written by Stan and Jack that I just finished, she saved the Fantastic Four 4 times. I want to say 3 times.
Okay.
Meaning they would have died without her 3 separate times. One, she's literally unconscious, and it's purely her will to live and protect her family that keeps her barrier up, because they immediately go to lose their powers after that situation. So her willpower is the strongest of the Fantastic Four.
I want to say that in regards to that, it's not actually, I'm not going to talk about like witchcraft and spells yet, but I do want to say that willpower is one of the most strongest things that you can have, because there have been stories, there have been like miracle stories of, and my mom included, where people will might be they'll be on like life support, or they'll be in a coma, and they literally will fight to come back to consciousness. And someone will say, if I go into a coma, do not pull the plug, because I'm gonna come back. And I have seen stories where people have come back. So if you want a gauge of how strong willpower really is, Susan Storm and those stories are definitely a very good reference to trusting yourself and having the power to keep going.
That, and also, if you want to take it in a different direction, have you ever seen those videos of the moms doing something super inhuman when their baby is in danger? That is also pure willpower, pure adrenaline.
Mom strength is real.
Mom strength is real, because I've seen a video of where a kid falls down a little shaft, a little manhole, and those manholes are heavy. They are not designed to be picked up by a normal person. They're supposed to be driven over by cars. So they're not, they're 100 pounds. And she fucking wings it, no big issue, and gets down and gets her son. So willpower will do everything for you. Now let's get back into her specific feats, other than, you know, pure willpower to stay alive has saved them several times. She has killed a celestial, something that is not possible by most beings in the universe. She has done it. She deflected a gamma bomb, redirected Thor, whose hammer is technically supposed to be irredirectable unless he is using it. Invaded Latveria by herself and defeated Doom solo. I'm just gonna leave that one there. Defeated Doom solo. Beat up Namor. Soloed the Avengers. Susan Storm bodies the Avengers by herself. Blew up Deadpool's head. To make it clear, that's how she can end most fights if she wanted to, because she can create bubbles in your brain and expand them. She can make your eyes invisible and delete them so that you can't see anymore.
She can literally create force fields in your body and explode you if she wants to. Steve Englehart, take notes. This is how you make a good OP character without making them Mantis. Just saying. I'm just saying.
Held back blows from Green Scar Hulk, which is the OP Hulk of all Hulks. This bitch is the bitch. She is Stanley and Jack Kirby's greatest creation. Not also weighing in that the Fantastic Four are one of the greatest teams of comics of all time. And I mean that in the way that they're done, because she represents air. Reed represents water. Rock equals earth. The Thing is the earth, and Johnny is obviously fire. But when you bring in the additional Franklin, who is reality manipulation, aka, if you believe what we believe, this is Aether. This is the life force of reality itself that makes all of us. This is the 5 spiritual.
Wouldn't Reed be air? Because air is intellect, and Sue be water because emotion.
No, think about it more in terms of what you see. You can see water. It goes through everything. You can't see air. In their mind, that's what they're depicting. And water is moldable. It can flow through anything. What is reed but moldable? He can make himself very thin. Yeah, it's not they didn't know any of that.
Yeah.
That was just this is just straight. I'm making up the other stuff.
Okay.
This not intent. Stanley didn't sit down with a tarot reader and was like, what does air mean?
I
What does
feel
water
like he
mean?
absolutely would though. Stanley would
He
have.
could have, but I don't think that they were like super popular back then. He probably just didn't have access. I do believe he would have. My man's would not judge. He'd be like, you read cards? Sure. I mean, he has witches in it, but they never mentioned tarot cards yet in that specific star. So I don't think that it was that deep for them. But they do represent the fact that Susan is invisible, like air.
Yeah. Ow.
You can never see air, but it's one of the strongest, most destructive forces in a tornado. Wind is some of the most destructive force in the fucking world. Water is elastic. It goes anywhere. It changes form. It can be anything. It can be ice. It can be gas. What can Reed turn his body into anything? Which, just for the record, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby did Reed's powers much better than anybody else. Specifically, Jack Kirby. My man's was parachute. He was fucking everything. And now it's all like, oh, we just know he could stretch.
He could stretch, and he can stretch far, and he can stretch wide, and he can stretch.
Now, let's talk about specific powers in terms of Susan. It is, again, light manipulation. She is manipulating light. That means she would be able to see energy. If she's able to see light and manipulate it, she should be able to see energy around people.
Yep.
Again, something you can use and invoke in your practice. She can turn off optic nerves. She can also alter her color, because color has to do with light. She can change her hair color. She can change her hair color. She can turn the thing pink. She can simulate third-degree burns by darkening the spectrum of her muscles and blood selectively. She is excellent in espionage. She can also make objects transparent. So if you ever want to like try and see through people's stuff, you can try and invoke her. Transparency, she can do that to Tony Stark's Iron Man and see straight through him.
It's not just invisibility. It's light manipulation. She's literally taking these external forces of energy and warping them to fit her reality, to fit what she needs to do to get the job done.
She is also strong enough to block out the sun for several days.
Oh yeah, didn't she do that on a planet? She did that on a negative zone planet.
Yep, I was just referencing that in her fucking information. But the biggest thing that I want to talk about with you guys specifically is her force fields. This is great for shielding and banishing stuff from your immediate
space.
I was gonna say bubble, but like I'm about to use that word like 700 times, so I didn't want to use bubble. You can create a bubble around yourself with a shield, and people can't get in your space, and you'll have an automatic, they'll get to you and be like, I feel like I shouldn't step any further here.
Your force field is your sacred space. Cast a circle, evoke a bubble around you. This is your space that no one can get into unless you give them permission to get into it.
And because of the way that her force field works, good energy and good things can pass through very easily. It is not completely solid. It is not particles, atoms, molecules. It is literally light being manipulated to be solid. Yes.
I want to know what Stan Lee and Jack Kirby were smoking in their prime, because I'm trying to create like that. Are you kidding?
Truthfully, I don't think they knew what they created for real. However, they did bring up the fact that she was manipulating light in the 1961 comics. So I don't think they knew exactly how powerful she was. They just knew she was strong. And they were like, oh, she's... At one point, they do mention it is light manipulation in the original comics. So it has always been light manipulation. People just kind of like faltered back and forth between, you know, writers don't always read the same thing or read it all.
Yeah, and the 2005 movie emphasized invisibility. They take her name, Invisible Woman, and run with it as in, oh yeah, everything she does is invisibility. It's exactly like Violet from The Incredibles. Oh my god, The Incredibles was a love piece for the Fantastic Four. You can't tell me that it wasn't.
It absolutely was on purpose. It was supposed to be the better movie from the Fantastic Four.
Oh my God.
100%.
And Jack is Franklin because he's got all of these oh my God.
That was absolutely a love letter to the Fantastic Four. 100%.
I love
Because
it.
it was all about family as well. And
love it.
Mr. fucking Dum McGee, Mr. Incredible, who doesn't do well without his wife? Who literally needs his wife to do proper superhero things? Him. Who is the leader? Not him.
Definitely not him.
He was never painted the leader. He wanted to be. He wanted to be special again. That's why he did the stuff that he did. But it was never him. Love letter to the Fantastic Four.
Don't be a slave to the patriarchy.
If you want people to get away from you, you can make your energy shockwave by invoking her. She can produce shockwaves. She can also make radar and locate things. She can internally damage people, obviously. She can generate force fields in their body. Like, that's crazy. She's also very smart. If we want to get into the different elements of her that you can evoke in your personal life, she is gifted as hell. I am not the type that wants to erase the past and pretend it never existed. So I do, in my personal thing, think that she put herself through school with modeling and acting on like a super side kind of, because it was just her and Johnny. Mm-hmm. And they're like, well, we don't want to be beholden to her being a model. Why shouldn't she use her pretty face to put herself through school? Why is that a bad story? If you got it, flaunt it, bitch.
If you got it, flaunt it. And if you write it well, there is no problem. That's the problem. And I don't want to use this term, but a lot of Mary Sue characters really don't know how to balance being pretty, but also still having internal and external issues. It's, I'm pretty, everyone loves me, my life is
everything
perfect.
I do is great.
Everything I do is amazing and fantastic and wonderful. And Susan Storm is not like that. Susan Storm has her issues. Susan Storm has her like complexities. She is an onion of a character that has so many layers that you can peel back when you actually get to examine her character and see what all she's able to do.
Especially when she deals with three boys like Reed Richards, Ben Grimm, and Johnny Storm. Ugh. And I will say that there's bad characterization for Johnny Storm coming up, and I'm just not for it. I completely and totally disagree with what they did to that boy. But we'll talk about that later. She's also proficient in taking care of herself. She's a proficient martial artist. She's one of the only people that have been trained by both Iron Fist and Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi? You know, the one movie we got that was actually pretty decent, but everyone kind of just slept on it because it was right after Endgame.
Shang-Chi, I don't want to go on a rant because if I go on a rant, I'm going to be here for hours. I'm not
for sure. Don't go on a rant. She's also an expert spy. There's many things that you can invoke to help you if you're like, let's pretend you're trying to research, is my friend's boyfriend cheating on her? Invoke Susan Storm. Go espionage mode, because she spent several years working as an undercover shield agent right under her husband's nose. They never found out. They don't know.
Get your pendulum, get your tarot cards, do some espionage, do some divination, invoke Susan Storm when you do. She will help you.
And also, this is the part that I really wanted to get to. And I brought up the other things that you can use her for while I was talking. How does this help you with magic? We're going to reference the Gojo episode right here again. This is all really energy working. It's a very energy working kind of place, which is where you want to start with as a witch, because the more that you work with your own energy, you'll be able to work with other energies. So force fields to practice when you don't want people in your bubble. Again, banishing, shielding, this is exactly where you want to be. Invisibility for when you don't want to be seen. Let's say you're out at night and you gotta walk home from work and it's 9 p.m. and you don't want to be seen by nobody. I'm invisible now. I am Sue Storm. I have invoked my invisibility. Light manipulation can be used for energy manipulation, because what is light but energy? Everything is energy.
Yep, and you can include color magic into your light manipulation too if you really wanted to. If you want to invoke light manipulation, get your shield. Get you a black shield for protection. Get you a red shield for passion. Orange shield for creativity. So on, so forth. If you are a person who likes to use color magic in your practices too.
But this is where I want to talk. Do we have some mother issues in the club? We probably have some mother issues in the club. We have some mummy issues. This is Mother. If you want the ideal mother, you can invoke her to heal some of your child wounds. If you find it hard to be nice to yourself, make Susan Storm be nice to you. Separate yourself from your negativity and your... I never believe anything that I say because I know it's not true. Okay, believe what Susan Storm says about you.
Do some astral projection if you have to. Look at yourself from an outside perspective, and then you can think and see, I don't really like that version of myself. Time to change.
Time to change. You have to take, yes, what your parents, what your friends, all that trauma happened to you. But it is your responsibility to do with what that trauma you can. Maybe you'll never be perfect, and that's fine because nobody is ever perfect. Crazy concept. So it's fine that you never get to the finish line and I'm not the perfect human being. You never will be. It's a journey.
Yep.
And if you were the perfect human being, you wouldn't be on this plane of existence. You would be 4-dimensional or above.
Unfortunately,
you would no longer be with us.
Sunshine and rainbows. It's shadow working and crying and vomiting and spitting up and coughing up hairballs to become a better person.
I literally did that to you this morning.
To become a better person. So
I had to set a boundary and ask a friend to use text tones with me, and I was literally like vomits on Mia's shoes.
Okay.
Dude, setting a boundary is so scary. But it had to be done, and I did it, and they took it very well, and smooches them on the head. So if you want to gentle parent yourself and you want somebody who is one of the best mothers in media, Susan Storm. Gentle parent yourself through Susan Storm to heal your child wounds, to heal your teen wounds, because she also deals with 2 teenagers that are crazy.
Yep, she is a mother. She is a matron. You can invoke any kind of motherly energy from her.
Bringing up, again, back to first steps. If you watch the last bit of the movie, if we're not going to spoil you here, you will see her be Mother Bear and 2 mothers in that movie. It's a love letter to mothers.
You will see Susan Storm's adrenaline as a mother in the end of that movie.
And her willpower and what it can do. It can hold back celestial gods. So you want willpower to complete something? I love strong women. That's why I'm glad to talk about Susan Storm. I love her to death. I also do love her husband, as written by Jack Kirby and Stan Lee.
He's okay, I guess.
Other people, questionable. Some of them are hit pieces. You can't tell me otherwise.
Okay. He's okay, I guess.
Here's my thing. I am a sucker for a man with privilege who is a genius, who has no obligation to anybody, being the tortured genius trope, where he is like, I must prevent every bad thing that could happen to the planet because I am the only one that can do it. And I love that trope written as Reed Richards.
Intelligent male wife. Intelligent male wife guy.
He is a wife guy. I also 100% believe that they wrote an autistic character before they ever knew what autistic was.
Oh, absolutely. That's just scientists in a nutshell, honestly.
Absolutely. He is too focused on science and here's my thing. He always thinks that his way is the right thing, and that is, as somebody with it, I unfortunately have to humble myself sometimes that just because it's right for me doesn't mean it's right for everybody.
And honestly, being humbled by yourself is a lot better than being humbled by other people, because other people will beat you down like a motherfucking dead horse, okay? So,
oh my God, other people can. It's the problem is that,
that's a whole different topic.
That is a whole different topic before I get started on that, for sure. But I really think that's all I have for you today. Just
any kind of ways we can use her in some spells in our practices aside from force fields and stuff.
I actually had a very hard time coming up with some spell work for her.
That's fair.
It was just mostly energy working for me. I did have a hard time coming up with spell works.
I think that a transparency kind of spell would be pretty good. Anything with divination also would be very good to invoke Susan Storm with. But if you're having a hard time being able to be like readable because you're not very good at expressing yourself, you can definitely use Susan Storm in a sort of transparency spell where you can be easily understood by other people, or other people can be easily understood by you.
I was going to also say that if you want to do transparency, like if you're having a situation, like some kind of drama in the world, this is also a great place for a transparency spell using Susan Storm's ability to make things transparent. That's a very good idea. Thank you.
I also think that Susan Storm would be pretty good in justice workings because Susan Storm is a very fair, very nurturing, caring person.
Emotionally intelligent person who understands why people like Namor and people like the Mole Man, if specifically if you're referencing the First Steps movie, she understands why these villains are sometimes doing what they're doing. Even Namor is not technically a villain. He is just a guy trying to protect Atlantis.
He's greasy as
and
fuck.
He is greasy as fuck, but he's not, I will say, he is not as bad in the original 100 issues. He does not, okay, he gets once he's rejected by Susan Storm, it's kind of over. He never like brings it up again. It's later writers that kind of kept bringing it back because they love Namor, I guess.
Oh my god, Susan's, even in Marvel Rivals, they're just like, Susan.
Yeah, it was not nearly like that in the original 100 episodes. Granted, the next segment of it are still written by Stan Lee, but I'm going to take them a little bit less as canon because I think Jack Kirby did a lot more for Marvel than anybody's willing to admit. I think he wrote a lot more and plotted a lot more than he didn't just draw it. He plotted most of the story. Stan Lee did the dialogue for certain, but he did most of the storytelling. So I think that most of the stuff once Jack Kirby leaves is just glorified fan fiction, and that's totally fine. That means you can just pick and choose whatever the fuck you think is correct.
Cherry pick your canon.
Cherry pick your canon for certain, because past the 70s, it's all glorified fan fiction anyway.
And I will say some of them are pretty good. Most of them are hot dog water.
You literally are like, where did you read this characterization at, homie? I've never in my life seen this. But Susan Storm is excellent for mothering mummy issues and treating your inner child as she should have been treated. And 2, shielding, energy working, invoking different types of energy, color magic also well with light energy. There is plenty of things that you can use for Susan Storm, specifically for protection and keeping yourself protected right now in this climate. Which is exactly why we did this. And everybody go see the First Steps movie because it was actually really good. The pacing was just off because they cut too much of the movie out because of the test audiences sucked. There literally just needed to be 35 more minutes. It just needed to be 35 more minutes. More movie.
That's it.
It was so good we needed more.
That's it. That's literally it.
Also, go watch Thunderbolts. That was also a very good movie. Pirate it, as we're not supporting Disney right now. Boo boo. Arg.
Unfortunately, I have a Disney Plus subscription because my daughter loves cars too much.
When you have a daughter, it's different.
I know. But otherwise, I would... Listen, if I didn't have a kid, I wouldn't have half these streaming services that week. All right.
Me neither. And I have a grown child.
Me too!
He's better than that. I do have to say, my husband is much better than that. But we're both very whimsical. We just like that kind of stuff. So
I understand.
Key takeaways is that you should use Susan Storm in your FANCRAFT to be better at shielding yourself from malicious energies, keeping yourself protected with invisibility and energy working, learning how to manipulate your own energy, as well as healing your inner child wounds. Again, I asked earlier in the episode, who would you like to see next? If it's from Marvel, if it's from anime, if it's from regular schmegular TV show, I'll watch a TV show for you.
I think I might have a character that I want to do this time.
Ooh, okay. Next episode. What are we recording next episode, though?
Our next episode is going to be about Loki. We're doing Loki.
Yay!
Loki from
This
the
is gonna be
Marvel
illusion
franchise.
magic.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, next week we will be here with Marvel's Loki, son of Odin, son of whatever the fuck giant he's son of. Thor and Angela's illusion sibling. I don't want to say brother because Loki is quite literally anything Loki fucking wants to be.
Yes, we will acknowledge the fact that Loki can do whatever the fuck Loki wants with his physical form, and he can be she, and she can be they, and she can be whatever she wants.
Quite literally. If you enjoyed this episode, say thank you, Space. Leave a comment. Tell us how you felt about this episode. And again, if you have any recommendations for characters that you want us to cover in our FANCRAFT, please leave them below, and we will definitely give them a glaze of consideration. Also, please consider subscribing and turning that notification bell on so you know when we are uploading new videos, because who doesn't want to be first in line for an episode of Witches and Weebs? I'm about to be, because I'm about to comment on this video once we finish recording, because this shit's up
I'm about
right
to
now.
be, because I also have to do the fucking thumbnail, so since I'll be there anyway.
Oh my god, but yes.
Oopsies.
We will see y'all next Wednesday for our next Witchy Wednesday, and we will see y'all this Friday for our free run.
Free run. Woo!
As usual, thank you for joining us, and we are so happy that you're here. We have 61 subscribers, and then like 49 more or 39 more. I can't do math. We'll have 100, and oh my god, that's gonna be so exciting! Please recommend us to your homies.
Then we're gonna open a Discord, and then we're all gonna talk to you guys.
Spread us to your homies. Spread us on TikTok. Use us for some content. Give us some traction if you want to. You don't have to, but it's much appreciated if you do. And as usual, please, everybody, remember to practice wisely, practice safely, and may all of your positive affirmations and manifestations come to fruition, because they will. Magic is real.
Remember to stay magical, stay mystical, and stay whimsical. We will see you next time. Good night, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Mwah, 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 mwah.